My name is Tom Ricks, and we're back with FPTV, talking to Gene Sharp. The first question I'd like to ask you is what you think the most overlooked news story of the year was.
If it's overlooked, I probably didn't hear about it, so I couldn't answer the question.
Is there something you think is really important that people haven't paid attention to?
No, I think what has happened is that stories that would have been overlooked before are now paid attention to. That these people power movements, these nonviolent struggle movements, that are now visibly changing world politics. In earlier times, they were regarded as something offbeat and not really serious. And so they were neglected when they really merited attention. But now they're getting front page attention in major papers and television and so on. And that's that change of perception of really understanding what this is something that's new. We experienced it back in February and March when we had many reporters coming for interviews on sometimes telephone, sometimes in person. And we had 4 to 7 interviews a day, 5 days a week, for 6 weeks. And what was amazing was that all of those reporters did not come with the same misconceptions and idiotic preconceptions that were always standard. Now they understood the basics, and this was new.
Would you say that in Marxist terms, the means of information has been transferred from a small group of individuals to a broad mass of people? Marx would have said the means of production, but...
I was wondering about it. I couldn't relate to anything about Marx I ever heard about.
But I think in this era, I'd say the means of information rather than the means of production.
I see. I'm sure that's played a role. I'm not sure that's been the biggest issue.
What do you think has been the central cause of this? What has led to it?
I think the real change has come from people you never heard of. Plain, ordinary people who got the beatings and the bullets and stood up and said, "I'm not afraid," and did this in hundreds and thousands of people together and caused governments to shake. And sometimes they fall quickly, and sometimes they don't quite yet. Things sometimes take a long time. But these regimes have been in power for a long time, and they will take a long time, perhaps, to really shake. And the people have to know what they're doing. You can't just say, "I protest," and expect the world to change. You have to do something.
Among all those individuals, is there any one or two that stand out as a personal hero for you?
No, they're all heroes. Mm-hmm. They're all heroes.
Mm-hmm. What's the worst idea of the year that you've heard?
The worst idea is not new. It's the constant repetition of the assumption that military means are needed. It happened in Libya, for example. People didn't understand that in nonviolent struggle, if you're serious and it's really shaking the regime, people are going to get hurt. The regime's not going to say, "Yes, so we're going to be nonviolent too." That's nonsense. People are going to get beaten and jailed and killed. And you don't use that as a reason where you have to go with the violence, because that is the ways that nonviolent struggle has gained victories for many decades. And this is how the Tsar system was brought down in Imperial Russia. This is the way the British Empire had to go home. You know, the way the civil rights movement shook up segregation in the United States South, and many other cases. The way the women won the right to vote because they were jailed and beaten and they still kept marching. This is type of struggle requires that. And then it uses the repression to weaken the repressor and their cause, and to advance the cause of freedom.
finally, a lighter question. Your favorite novel or favorite film over the last year?
Oh, you show my weak spot. I haven't read a novel in the last year, or maybe several years, and I haven't been to a cinema for a long, long time. So I don't know. I didn't see any of them.
Well, we'll get some recommendations to send along to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.